Morning, good afternoon, good evening to your respective time zones. My name is Joe Hunter. I will be giving my persuasive speech today on active shooter preparedness. I have three volunteers here, my friend Alex on FaceTime, my daughter Adriana, and my fiance Amanda. Um, Appreciate you guys being my audience today. Y'all can have a seat. Adriana, don't say nothing. And if y'all can find Alex a seat because he ain't got no legs today. Excuse me. Good afternoon. Today I'll be talking about active shooter preparedness and hopes to persuade you to at least take into consideration of some of the things I'm going to be talking about today. Today I'll be talking about the definition of active shooter, definition of a bystander, which is a two-parter. One is an active bystander, another is a passive bystander. I will also talk about statistics, in the United States of America from 2013 to 2015, according to the Federal Bureau of Investigations, following that, I will talk about what you can do to be more mindful and make more of an effort to be that bystander that can minimize the threat of being injured or death at the worst. As well as how law enforcement responds, what you can do to help law enforcement sustain that situation. I chose this topic. I don't think it's talked about enough, as much as it happens, but we also don't know how much it happens, as media, picks and chooses what they would like to highlight. But I'll get into that. So I'll begin with the active shooter definition provided by the Department of Homeland Security. I'm going to read verbatim. So pardon me. So definition of active shooter is actively engaging in killing people in a confined area, populated area, and in most cases using a firearm. A little side note from that, even if it's not a firearm, as long as they have that same method and same purpose and intent, is considered an active shooter, whether they're using a knife, a crossbow, or it can be anything, any kind of a weapon or device. They have that same intent and method, is considered an active shooter. Are all active shooter incidences considered a terrorist attack? No, but it's so random. You never know who's going to commit this crime. Or if they have mental illnesses or whatever, whatever may be. All right, so the next two definitions I'll be going over similar. So it's the bystander. So you're obviously in that area where active shooter incident is taking place. So the definition of an active bystander is somebody who actually sees a situation happening and react in a positive way, where they're trying to save themselves and others in that vicinity. And a passive bystander is obviously the opposite. So it's that person that what we call in the Air Force is fight or flight. They may freeze. You have a lot of adrenaline pumping, a lot of things going in your head. You might not know how to react. So those are your two bystander definitions. And you definitely want to be an active bystander, which is why I decided to pick this topic for my persuasive speech. All right. So as a bystander, an active bystander, or even a passive bystander, you have three options. You have escape, fight, or barricade. All right. Escape obviously means run away without being seen. There's a lot of things that go into that, not silhouetting yourself. If you can escape. All right. Probably the best choice, if you can't escape, is hiding. So in hiding, say you're for classroom purposes, you're in the classroom. There's one door in. Recognize that there's one door. Recognize how many windows there are. If you lock that door and put furniture against it, could it possibly prevent the active shooter from getting in the room? Yes, absolutely. But again, you don't want to be passive and forget about those little details. All right, and your last option is to fight. you obviously, if you recognize the situation, you want to go out there and fight. Um, it's just not a good idea, especially if they have a weapon. If you don't have to, then don't. If you have to, use any means necessary, whether it's an improvised device, a lamp, a chair, or anything like that. Take that in consideration. Always have a plan. Some workplaces have an active shooter plan instilled in the workplace, similar to a fire prevention plan if a fire alarm went off. Have a safe route, a safe location to go to, things of that nature. And the reason why I wanted to give this speech is a lot of people don't have that or access to it. So, anyways, so just a statistic, to throw out there, between 2013 and 2015, in the United States of America, 1,052 active shooter incidences happened in the United States. I've probably heard of 10 in that span, which is, again, another, I want to foot stomp, another reason why I think this is important. It's not taught enough, or not given, the information is not given to the public as it should. And they're also mainly in schools, not to scare any parents. In those 2 years, there was 11 active shooter incidences in schools. 9 of them, teachers and staff stepped in to stop it. And then another 23% is where the shooter ends their own life before law enforcement gets there. So just a little fact to throw out there. All right, and I just want to talk about one incident that happened in the past, in the 90s, the Columbine shooting. Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, they changed the way law enforcement responds to active shooter incidents. So they used to set up a cordon or perimeter, wait for SWAT to come in. Now it's whoever responds first. They immediately go to the threat, take them out, if they can, to preserve lives and minimize injuries. And like I said, I can go on and on about this subject, but in conclusion, I wanted to just push out a little awareness about active shooter incidents, how you can prepare your mind and your physically and mentally. It's very important. You never know when it happens, and the stats from 2013 and 15, they're bad enough, and the stats are increasingly going up. So I wanted to just throw a few things out there, a few gee whiz things that you can take into consideration if you ever are in that situation, or maybe know somebody that's in that situation. So today I went over definitions of active shooter, active bystander, passive bystander, some statistics I threw out there from 2013 to 15, what you can do as an active bystander, and how law enforcement responds. So do you guys have any questions?
I have a question. If you're in your car during an active shooter, where would the safest place be to go? Would you stay in your car? Would you run to the building?
It depends where the shooter's at, or the suspect is at. If they're like 100 yards away, I would stay in the car. It depends all on the environment. Just use situational awareness and just use sound judgment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? No? Alex, no legs? All right. Well, thank you guys for being my audience. I hope I wasn't too bad, but thank you.